In the southern regions of Europe, the Alps stand tall as an immense, towering barrier. They are too lofty to construct over and too expansive to circumvent, but what about piercing through them directly? The EU is constructing an unprecedented network of tunnels beneath the Alps. However, what will these tunnels resemble, and what methods will be employed in their construction? This mountain range boasts thousands of peaks, with several hundred soaring to heights of 3,000 meters or more. Spanning a distance of over 1,000 kilometers end to end, they traverse 8 distinct countries: Monaco, France, Switzerland, Italy, Liechtenstein, Germany, Austria, and Slovenia. As one might envision, traversing the Alps is no simple feat. Historically, it was nearly insurmountable. An illustrious tale from ancient Rome tells of Hannibal, a formidable military commander leading an army across them. He even brought war elephants along. Yet most succumbed to the bitter cold during the journey. Today the landscape is altered. There exist a considerable number of tunnels, roads, and railway lines linking one side of the Alps to the other. Though transporting an elephant might still pose a challenge, overall, crossing these mountains is easier than in times past. Yet these routes are far from flawless. In fact, many are severely outdated. One renowned example is the Semmering Railway, arguably Europe's oldest mountain railway constructed back in the 1850s. It is an impressive system, boasting a dozen or so tunnels and around 100 bridges, but it lacks the speed of modern railways and has limited carrying capacity. For passengers, the leisurely journey might not be bothersome. After all, the scenery is breathtaking. However, these railways are also utilized by freight trains transporting over 200 million tons of goods through the Alps annually. For freight operators, the sluggish, antiquated rails represent a significant bottleneck, and the picturesque vistas fall short of compensating for it. In essence, these crossings are in dire need of modernization, and that's precisely what the EU is currently undertaking. This project stands out as the most ambitious of them all. Similar to the Mont Cenis base tunnel, it will connect 2 different nations from Austria in the north of the Alps to Italy in the south. In total, it spans a distance of 55 kilometers, slightly shorter than the Mont Cenis base. However, the Brenner base tunnel will also incorporate a 9-kilometer auxiliary tunnel known as the Innsbruck bypass. In total, this bypass extends the tunnel's length to 64 kilometers. While it may not be a single continuous line, the team behind Brenner is still branding this tunnel as the longest subterranean railway link in the world. Once again, it consists of technically 2 parallel tunnels, but this time with a small third exploratory tunnel beneath them. Additionally, these tunnels present an intriguing challenge. In Austria, trains operate on the right-hand side of the tracks. Conversely, in Italy, they operate on the left-hand side. Therefore, deep within the Brenner-based tunnel, the 2 tracks will intersect, facilitating the transition of Italian trains from the left side to the right and Austrian trains from the right side to the left. As mentioned, it's a twist quite literally. To accomplish this feat, engineers are utilizing a vast fleet of tunnel boring machines. Instead of assigning them technical designations, each machine involved in the Brenner project has been bestowed with a name such as Serena, Virginia, or Lilia. At this very moment, they are carving their way through the heart of the Alps, discharging rock as they progress. As of now, the Brenner-based tunnel is slated to commence operations in 2032. Its estimated cost is approximately $4 billion, contributing to the total expenditure of almost $45 billion for these. In 2016, they also completed the Gotthard-based tunnel stretching 57 kilometers from end to end. This one is nearly twice the length of the Lötschberg-based tunnel. As of now, it holds the title of the world's longest railway tunnel. Let me reiterate, as of now. In the coming years, this record will be surpassed, but we'll delve into that shortly. Similar to the Lötschberg, the Gotthard-based tunnel forms part of the Rhine-Alpine corridor alongside the Lötschberg-based tunnel. It has significantly reduced train travel time from Switzerland to Italy by up to an hour. Technically, it also boasts the title of the deepest railway tunnel globally. When factoring in the mountain above it, sections of the tunnel lie almost 2.5 kilometers beneath the surface. Astoundingly, this surpasses the depth of any of Europe's deepest mines. Adding to its impressiveness, the Gotthard-based tunnel is technically composed of 2 parallel tunnels. One caters to trains traveling from north to south, while the other facilitates trains journeying from south to north. In essence, its length isn't just 57 kilometers, it's 57 kilometers doubled. Overall, it was such an immense undertaking that 4 colossal tunnel boring machines were deployed to work simultaneously on it. These machines boast extraordinary precision. For well over a year, 2 teams guided their TBMs through the mountain. One team progressed northward from one end of the tunnel, while the other advanced southward from the opposite end. Upon finally meeting in the middle, they discovered that their 2 tunnels were impeccably aligned. Well, the 2 tunnels were 4 or 5 millimeters apart. Considering the scale, it's deemed a remarkable achievement. Nevertheless, the construction encountered setbacks. 9 workers lost their lives, either due to machinery accidents or being trapped under collapsed debris. This fatality rate is unusually high for a European project. It underscores the inherent danger of tunneling, despite employing modern techniques. Nonetheless, this record-setting tunnel was eventually completed at an estimated cost of around $12 billion, featuring a high-speed train line. It commenced passenger operations in 2016, marking one of the most significant milestones of the 10T initiative. However, as previously mentioned, this is merely the beginning, which is currently anticipated to be completed by 2032. This project is part of the Mediterranean corridor, traversing the Alps from southern Spain to Hungary. Upon completion, the tunnel will span 57.5 kilometers, surpassing the length of the Gotthard base tunnel by a couple of hundred meters. Once again, it consists of technically 2 parallel tunnels, interconnected by maintenance shafts. In total, workers will excavate over 100 kilometers of rock. For this endeavor, there are plans to deploy 8 tunnel boring machines, operating intermittently along the tunnel route. The Mont Cenis base tunnel is so extensive that it will cross between 2 distinct countries. One will enter in France and emerge in Italy. Passengers aboard high-speed trains traversing the tunnel will experience significantly shorter travel times, with journeys such as Lyon to Turin or Paris to Milan being more than 2 hours faster than before. Additionally, freight capacity will double, increasing from 700 tons of daily goods to 1,500 tons. The total cost of the tunnel is estimated to be around $8 billion. The EU is funding 40% of the project, with France and Italy sharing the remaining costs. It exemplifies the goals of the 10T initiative, addressing transportation bottlenecks and enhancing accessibility for all. However, not everyone supports this initiative. Residents living near both ends of the tunnel in France and Italy express concerns regarding high-speed trains. They cite noise pollution, safety hazards, and environmental damage as primary worries. Nevertheless, despite local opposition, the project is proceeding as planned. Above ground, individuals are staging protests, appealing to European courts, and voicing their discontent.